Forest fans, Max Newton here on Talk Forest TV. Hit that like, comment and subscribe buttons. I'm giving you a quick preview of Nottingham Forest at home to Leicester City in the Premier League at the world famous City Ground on the telly. Obviously a game that everybody's expecting Forest to pick up 3 points from and pick up 3 points comfortably. But it's not always that easy. It's not always that easy because it's a local derby. Although we only care about derby, Leicester City do really care about beating Forest, so much so that they'll probably go and smash up another pub in town and jump on the pitch and try and have a fight with one of our goal scorers. So they're dangerous for that, in that respect. And they're also dangerous, I think, because it's one of Jamie Vardy's last games for Leicester, and he'll certainly want to go out with a bang. But also, I've just finished watching Southampton hold Man City to a 0-0 draw at St Mary's. I think that's their first clean sheet since the 90s. Nobody would have bet Man City to not beat Southampton in the same way that not many people would bet Forest to not pick up anything against Leicester. So I think it's really important that we get off to a good start. I think it's really important that we start on the front foot. We don't need to concede so much possession and ball to Leicester like we do other teams. And we can play perfectly well with possession. There's a bit of a myth going around that when we have more possession, we can't score and we can't win games. The fact is that the games where we've had more possession are the games where we've gone behind and we've needed to have more possession to get back into the game, as you'd expect. Games where we've had less possession are games where we've gone out, we've scored early, and then, we don't need to dominate the ball and we don't need to dominate possession. So there's a bit of misreading of statistics going on, which just goes to show that, statistics, XG, stuff like that is bollocks. The most important things is putting the ball in the back of the net, keeping the ball out of this net, and the cheese and beetroot cobs. And I think Forest should go to the game with confidence after a really good draw against Crystal Palace. Yeah, we had to hang on a bit, but Palace were in good form and put out a very strong side. Unlike other teams that are doing between now and the end of the season, like Liverpool, Spurs, Manchester United, that are really undermining the competitiveness of the Premier League and undermining the league really. But we go into the game, we'll be missing Callum Hudson-Odoi, we might be missing Murillo. I think we'll probably see him play. If Murillo's fit, the back five, including the keeper, picks itself. If Murillo isn't fit, we'll probably see Morato coming in. But we're probably not far off seeing Zach Abbott come in. But I think we'd see Morato. On the other hand, we'd really miss Murillo's pace, and Morato doesn't have the same pace. So a back two of Morato and Milenkovic might be something that Vardy can get at and get into. So it might actually be one for Zach Abbott to start if there's no Morato. I think midfield, I was actually quite impressed by Sangare against Manchester City, and he did a decent job in the FA Cup semi-final as well, which is great to see because it looked like he had no future whatsoever at the City Ground. But he's put in a couple of decent performances, so I think we might see a midfield pretty similar to the Palace game. So Yates or Sangare in the midfield with Elliott, Dominguez on one side, Anderson on the other side, Morgan Gibbs White up the middle behind a front two of Chris Wood and Elanga. That's what I would go for, because I think their defence are really susceptible to strength and pace, and that's Wood and Elanga. So I think we would play Wood and Elanga up front, running after and running at face and into the central defenders, because I don't think they'll be able to cope with them whatsoever, which is exactly what we saw in the fixture at their place earlier in the season. So I'm going to go for a comfortable victory for Forest, but I think one of the biggest dangers to the Forest is complacency from the players, also from the crowd. We need to get behind the boys, support the boys, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 win. 2 goals from Chris Wood and 1 goal from Anthony Elanga, because its power and pace will pay the bills at the City Ground. Forest move up into 4th place, So it's not happened yet. So I'm gonna say that Newcastle will beat Chelsea, Bournemouth will get a draw with Villa, and things will be looking up. And then we go into the final 2 games of the season with our tails up, maybe just needing a win at West Ham to make the final game irrelevant. I think that would be nice. So let's get behind the boys. Come on, you Reds.